Hey guys, welcome back to another Thisissoul Skateshop YouTube video. We are in the Thisissoul store in Amsterdam here. This is our store where you can see all the clothing, all the wheels, and of course all the skates sorted by size. We also have a store in Antwerp, so if you ever want to try some skates, we are ready for you. Today we're going to shoot a video about the Soulslide, and the Soulslide has the same name as Thisissoul. And the name Thisissoul also comes from the trick, the soul grind. The soul plate is a piece of the hardware on the skate that you need for the soul grind. And also the soul slide has its roots in the name the soul grind. So in a way, we owe our name thanks to this trick in this video. It's raining today because it's Amsterdam, and this is my favorite trick to do, especially when it rains. It's the reason why I like skating in the rain. And you should also like skating in the rain because it's one of the most fun things, because the soul slide is a lot easier when the ground is a little bit slippery. One way to do it is if the ground is super wet, but another way is with some wax. We have soul wax, you have the little round thing here for coping, and you have the straight part for if you want to wax the ground. The soul slide is the ideal break if you ask me, especially if it's wet outside. It has all the upsides of some other breaks, and it does not have the downside of some other breaks. For example, you have the T-brake, which is a really good brake, but it's really hard to steer with the T-brake. And with the Soulslide, you can steer away from the danger. And often, you don't even have time enough to brake. You just want to like steer away so that you don't hit a car or hit something. So that's why the Soulslide is really good. You can steer with it. Another thing is that the Soulslide is safer because you have always one foot underneath you and only one foot is doing the sliding. So if something happens, you still have that one foot underneath you. For example, with the snowplow, you have 2 feet that go out, and if something happens, you fall, and the fall is really hard and you cannot really guide yourself to the ground because you're also stuck in this like A-frame position where you cannot bend. If you bend your legs, you don't get down. And with the Soulslide, you have 1 foot underneath you that you can just like guide yourself to the ground and just sit in like a mermaid position. Another reason why the Soulslide is so nice is that it's not as wide as a snowplow. Because with the snowplow, like let's say you're on a bicycle path and there's a bicycle next to you, you cannot do the snowplow because you don't have the width. With the Soulslide, it's a lot more of a narrow trick, just kind of like the T-brake is also pretty narrow. You do need some width, but not as much as some other tricks. I think it's the most superior braking technique that there is. And also, if you master this one, I consider you no longer a beginner. Anybody not capable of doing the Soulslide is still a beginner, in my opinion. So this is a little bit the graduation trick. If you can do the Soulslide, you're like truly an advanced skater. But before we're gonna do all these exercises, you should definitely know how to do the snowplow. So we have a video just about the snowplow. Watch that one. You should also know how to fall safely. So you should be able to do a mermaid. We have a video about the mermaid falling technique, because if you don't know the mermaid, you're kind of like probably too afraid to put your weight on your legs the way you're supposed to, and it will hold you back. And if you can do the mermaid, that barrier kind of like goes away and you're a lot freer to experiment. Be my setup for today. It's a 4x100 frame from FR. It's rockered, it's a 1mm rocker. It's a carbon boot, so it's super stiff. And one other big plus side about carbon boots is that they don't have those stupid ventilation holes. For example, a Twister or a Powerslide Next or any of these boots. The FR one also doesn't. So if you just have a normal FR boot, also there's no ventilation hole. That's great, because I'm gonna do this in the rain and you're gonna do it probably in the rain as well. So if there's all these holes in the boot, your feet is just gonna get wet. We have a video about this topic as well. Basically, if you do have some holes in the bottom of your skate, you can use tape to close these holes. It's not 100% waterproof of a method, but it is better than just having these holes. I really like these carbon boots because they're like so waterproof. Sideways flex is super important to not have. You want to have sideways stiffness. It needs to be as stiff as possible. I have an example of a boot that's kind of like the opposite of stiff. This is super flexible. This is not what you want. And I have a few tests how you can see if you have a flexible skate or not. If you put the skate underneath your elbow like this, and then if you try to bend the frame, you can see that I can create a little split here. So I can actually lift here the frame up, and then you see that there's a little bit of a split. That's not good. You don't want that. So the connection between the frame and the boot needs to be super stiff. If you have a metal plate like this, or you have a carbon boot, to begin with, carbon is always good. But the skates with the metal plate, they are really good with this. Any UFS skate is probably not so good. There's a couple of exceptions. Of course, the carbon UFS skate, the ACT is super stiff. The standard skates are super stiff, but most other UFS skates are a little bit too flexy. Then the cheaper 165mm mounted standard like freestyle skates are super bad. All soft boots like this that are non-carbon are super bad. And most Trinity mounted boots are good. Another way to test your skate if it's good or not is if you can like squeeze the cuff easily like this, then that's a really bad sign. Also, if you open up the buckle and you just like take this part, if you can pull this out like this, that's not good. And another test I like to do is to hold the boot here, and then hold the boot here around the buckle, and then see if I can do this movement. If I can push this and pull the top here, and if I can move this like 1, 2, or 3, or sometimes 4 centimeters, then you have a really bad skate for the Soulslide. Let me show you why that is. I have a piece of paper here, and I bought a pencil. And there's a little rubber on the end of this pencil. So it looks like a pen, but it's a pencil. If I have a stiff skate and I push the skate like this, the pencil makes just a normal great line. And this is kind of like my slide. I want to have a normal, straight, easy slide. If I have the rubber on the end, you see this is rubber, and then I'm going to push it, it's going to jump a little bit. You see this? This is not giving me a really nice slide. It has grip, and then it releases the grip. It has grip and it releases the grip. So the rubber is of course like super flexible, and this is what happens if your skate is too flexible. You cannot make a nice and solid slide. Then there's one other thing. If you have new wheels suck for sliding. You want to have a little bit worn down wheels. So if you just bought new skates, maybe first break down your wheels a little bit. You can do it, of course, by doing a lot of T-breaks, just sliding your skates on the ground like this. Another way is, we have a video about this topic too, is you just put a grinder tool, one with like a big rotating grinding disc, and you put it on the wheel, and you just like move the grinder from one end to another, and then like a tenth of a millimeter, you grind it off a little bit. So then you can like break your wheels in like that. If you want to speed it up, you can use a grinder tool. But in general, most people just skate it a little bit, drag it, because new wheels, yeah, they just suck. They also don't have a good, nice and steady release of the friction. They jump a little bit. So they have either a lot of grip, or they just release it suddenly. I don't know why new wheels have this, but it's the case. There's one fun little thing that you can do. We have a video about frame positions where we experimented with all the different frame positions. And in this video, I learned something which I totally didn't know or expected. You see this little slot here? With this slot, you can move the frame from the inside to the outside, but you can also move it the angle a little bit like this. And if you place the frame on the outside of your skate, it's easier to make to stand on your inner edge. Because with the Soulslide, your skate should be as deep as possible. So it's really hard to do the Soulslide like this. If you can ride like this all the way, it's a lot easier to get into that slide. You see it already when I'm just like pushing it like this. It's really hard for me to make the Soulslide with this angle. And with this angle, it's like super easy for me to make a nice slide. It's just so much easier if your frame is positioned on the outside of your boot to stand on your inner edge like this. So if you're new to this technique, just change the position. You can just unscrew these two bolts if you have a 165mm mounted skate and push your frame to the outside. If you have a UFS skate, the only frame that you can do this with is the Sola 80 and 90mm frames. Those are the only UFS frames that have lateral movement. Then Trinity mounted boots, they have some lateral movement but not a lot, so you can do it just a little bit, and then you can mostly just do the angle. But also the angle of the frame compared to the boot matters, so you can also play around with that. Okay, so now you're totally ready. I'm gonna put on my skate and we're gonna do some exercises for you to learn the Soulslide.
Okay, close the shop for a second. Ooh, slip and slide.
So we're actually super lucky today because it just started raining. And like I said before, I love doing Soulslides in the rain.
Best moment to practice the Soulslides.
Okay, so Eric works in the shop. He's my colleague. And he's also teaching sometimes. We have a skate school here in Amsterdam, of course, so if you want to get some lessons, go to thisissoul.com. And Eric, let me just show you, if you ever need to teach somebody a Soulslide, what the steps are, okay? You have to put in a lot of work, so I'm going to show you the steps, but you have to do the steps, and before you go to the next step, you have to repeat, make it your daily therapy session. Because some of these small steps that I'm gonna do will take you a whole day, okay? All right, before we're gonna do the Soulslide, we're gonna do the Soul Stop. And most of the inline skating techniques have a braking variant and a stopping variant. So for example, you have the snowplow. Let me show you a snowplow. Where you go like this. But you also have the pizza point, and the pizza point is the stopping variant. So with the pizza point you do this and you come to a complete stop. But you cannot do the stopping variant at high speed. And just like the snowplow and the pizza point, you have the Soulslide and the Soul Stop. We're going to start with the Soul Stop, and the Soul Stop is you do one foot to the side and then you do a half lemon. So the first exercise is put all your weight on one foot, extend the other foot, so your nose should be above your knee and above your wheels, and then just make this circle. Stop, so don't do it behind you, you don't have to do it behind you. From the side and then to the front. Have you ever done this?
No.
No? Exactly. All right, you can do it with the other foot as well? Okay. A really common mistake with this, with the students, is that they do this and then the back foot turns. You don't want that. The right position is with your weight on your toe, not with your weight on your heel. So, and this whole leg should just be tense all the way to your belly button. Your shoulders can be relaxed, but this should be like super cramped. Use all your muscles, and this should be like just one big core of strength, and you're only moving this leg. As soon as you put weight on this one, then you have a problem. Yeah, you don't want that. That's what most beginners do. Have you ever seen this a beginner do this?
Well, it happens often that your hips turn.
So if you can do it standing still, then you can do it with a little bit of speed. open up to the side, keep your nose above your rolling foot, and then you stop by doing this. So first with a little bit of speed. No, you're doing a soul slide now. You're too good.
Ooh.
We're doing a soul stop. So no slide, just go to the side and you come to a stop. Yes, there you go. And then it's okay with the soul stop to do this. I'll do it from the side, like this. It's okay to come together with the legs. You see? So at the end, you do this. So I'll show you one more time from the side. Get down, one foot to the side, ring to the front, and then you come together. And now my weight is also a little bit on this leg. I'm a little bit 50-50. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's okay to begin with. If you master that one, again, most people will need to repeat this 100 times. If you master that one, then the end of the exercise you can keep your weight more to the back. So at the beginning, you go forward like this. It's almost like a pizza point, but where you don't do a point, but you do a T break. Not a T break, you do a T position with your legs. So but when you have that, you can lean back more and more. Make yourself strong. Make your legs strong. You're from your belly button down. Put your weight on your back foot. There you go. Yes. Weight on the back foot also means that your nose is not above your like
Front foot.
front foot, but that your nose should be as far away from your front foot, like this. Yes, there you go. Okay. And then now it's like super slippery because it's raining, so we're lucky with that.
Makes it extra easy.
Yeah. The next step with any stopping technique is that you do it on a fixed point. So you can draw a line on the ground, or maybe you find a line, or maybe there's like a little twig on the ground, something. But we have a really nice line there. So you can do the stopping technique exactly at the line, and then you mastered it. Because the stopping technique is like a precision. There you go. Yeah, don't slide.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard not to slide when it's
hard,
so wet.
yeah, exactly. And if you know the technique already, so boom. All right. There you go. Cool. This is just a little bit of an exercise to get into the body position of the soul slide. Because the soul stop looks so much like the soul slide, it's just a really good place to start with. Now we're gonna go to that little bench and get to the next step. Okay. All right.
Oh,
We sit down, nice on the edge.
wet.
Yeah. And then this is the, like, we're gonna try to master the slide right now. And the way to do that is with one foot again, the one foot that you want to have underneath your nose, and the one that keeps on riding, stays still. So you have that in the center, so a little bit more like this, yeah, underneath your nose. And then the other you put here in a little bit of an angle in front of you, this in this position. So not here, not there, but there. Yes, exactly. This is the soul position. This is also the position what you have when you do a soul grind. And now we just try to fight the ground. The ground, normally I always say the ground is your friend, but you also have to make the ground your bitch now.
Now you want to push it away.
Yeah. And then you notice that if you have this angle, if you have a little bit more of a center edge, if you have this angle, if you have a little bit center edge instead of this angle, then it's a lot harder. So if I try to do the slide like this, it's hard. If I try to do the slide like this, it's easier. Sliding on the inner edges is so much easier than on center edge. So this exercise is super important because you're gonna have to do this while riding. And the fewer weight you have on your sliding foot, the easier it is. You have to kick it with your heel in the slide, not with your toe. You're sliding with your, pushing with your heel, or maybe the middle of your foot a little bit, but mostly just with your heel. Definitely not with your toes. Okay. And then this is actually, right now what we're doing is the Soulslide. It's just that it's kind of like the lazy Soulslide because we're sitting. But normally you should be able to do this exactly the same. Pretend that you're sitting and then like this. It's a super hard position, like for your muscles as well. You probably in the beginning cannot like sustain this. The deeper you are, the better. Your face should be as far away from your front leg, and you should be on your inner edge as much as possible. And the angle should be exactly this angle. If you have all those things correctly, then you will do it. If you don't do one of those things, then it will probably be hard. So it's a little bit tricky that you have to do all the things correctly. It's easier if you go faster. Now it's just up to practicing this a lot. I gave you all the tips that you can do in advance, but now you just have to do it. I'll show you a couple of Soulslides, and I'll show you a couple of Soulslides where it goes wrong, where I don't do one of the things correctly, okay? First, a perfect Soulslide.
So let's see if you can do it. Here comes Ivo's perfect Soulslide.
Boom. Okay, perfect. So what I want you to do, what I want to see, is an as long and steady Soulslide as possible. So I want to have like constant deceleration. I don't want to see like jumping in the friction where I see that you're like struggling with the ground. If that happens, you probably have too much weight on your front foot. The key is really to have all your weight, like 95% of your weight on your back foot, okay? All right. Eric, you want to join me and try a couple of Soulslides where you try to do it 50-50 weight distribution?
Okay, let's go.
Yeah? Now it's easy because it's slippery as well. But if you do it like this, it's more like the snowplow. You have less control over it. It's also dangerous. Like with the snowplow is a little bit of a dangerous trick because I've seen people fall really, really hard with the snowplow. And if you do it like this, you can like slip out of your slide easily, and then you cannot really catch yourself. So it's more dangerous like that. And you also have a lot less control over the direction, your speed control, everything is worse.
Now we're going to show you how we should not do it. So
okay.
I had too much balance forward, so
yeah, with this example we try to do it center edge instead of like with the foot wide and on the inner edge, and it's just like super hard to get into the slide. So this is a really common mistake. I try to avoid that. The wider you are, the more easy the slide is. So put your foot as far away from your body as you can. Your nose should be all the way to the other side, and it should be as flat to the ground as possible. And then you make it yourself easy. Erik, do you think you can improve on the Soulslide a little bit? Can you show me your perfect Soulslide?
Okay.
Boom.
Oh,
Nice.
okay, it was not perfect.
That was good. Okay, so the nice thing about the Soulslide is also that what I said before, it's the bridge between being a beginner and an advanced skater. So as soon as you can do the Soulslide, it opens up the door to all the other slides.
True.
And the next slide, if you can do the Soulslide, is the Magic Slide. It's exactly the same thing where you do this, and then it's just the only difference is that your back foot then does pop. It pops to the side, boom, like this.
I like that.
So once you are in the Soulslide, you can then pop it to the Magic Slide.
Cool.
If you want to practice this, I'll show you a beginner's Magic Slide, okay? So the first step to the Magic Slide is super slow speed. You just do a Soulslide, and when you're standing still in this position, you do this while standing still. Then the next step is when you still are a little bit in the slide, you do it. But now I was actually standing still as soon as I did it. But I initiated the Magic Slide when I was still sliding. So then the next step is to do it even sooner in my slide when I still, boom. And now you saw that I did like 5 centimeter of magic slide. So this is how you build it up. Build up the speed a little bit by a little bit. Can you show me maybe a perfect magic slide?
I can try.
Yeah? Oh! Whew. Now you see how important it is that the ground is perfect, because this is a little bit of a bad spot.
Let me do it again. Okay, second try.
Alright. Woo! Okay, I think now it's super wet, but normally you would stand with your knee inwards like this. You did it like this, but normally when you do magic slide you should do it more
deeper.
Yeah, more deeper.
If it has to be more deeper, can you show me?
Alright, I'll show you.
Yeah?
Like that?
That was a bit deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's so many slides, and I hear a lot of people say that the bad thing about sliding is that that you wear down your wheels. But if you're getting good at sliding, you're getting good at skating. Skating and sliding are the same. You cannot be a good skater without being a good slider. So if you want to be safe on skates, and if you want, like, if there's a car coming, you want to be able to steer away from the danger while braking, which you cannot do with the snowplows that easily or with the T-brake, then the Soulslide is the way to go. So if you are still one of those people that think like you should not wear down your wheels by practicing slides, I think you should change your perception, because wheels only cost like 100 euros. So if you buy new wheels once every year, it's 100 euros. But if you lose a tooth or if you break something, it's a lot more expensive, okay? So actually the goal should be to wear down your wheels as quickly as possible, because if that is your goal, then you learn sliding the quickest and you become a good skater and you're actually safe while skating. I think the goal should be to be safe while skating and not that your wheels don't wear down. If you need new wheels, of course, we have Thisissoul Skateshop, but also if you want to have more technique tips, we have more videos on our channel. So subscribe to the channel and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do some more slides.
Hey!